Good morning, friends. How are y'all doing? I miss y'all. It's Thursday, March 26th. Don't even know the date. Barely know what day it is. We're gonna do a little bit of yoga today, just like we did Tuesday. So kind of get everything warmed up. I'll do this video, end it, and then we'll go right to some weightlifting. And just be sure, if you only do the weightlifting part, that you get everything warmed up and all your joints warmed up before you hop right into any kind of weightlifting. I don't know how long we're going to be here today, but we're going to get started. I like to sit cross-legged. You sit however it's most comfortable for you. I'm going to have hands on my knees. I'm going to close down my eyes, and I'm going to lengthen through my spine. So I'm sitting tall, and for just a moment I want everyone to think about, even though this is some really hard times, what are we thankful for? Like, what are you thankful for sitting on your mat or on your rug in your living room or your workout room? So just think a moment while you're breathing what you're thankful for. I'm going to have some deep inhales and then open my mouth and exhale. So just inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One of the things that, continue to breathe, one of the things that I'm really thankful for is that the sun has come out. So we can take this practice out on the yard if we want to, or the front porch, or somewhere that the sun can shine down on us. And I'm just so thankful that the sun is shining. So let's take one more really big inhale here. Let it completely fill your lungs, and exhale. The next inhale, we're going to sweep both hands overhead and really stretch our fingers to the sky, and exhale back down. One more inhale. And this time we're going to drop our hand to our knee and our other hand by our hip, and we're just going to just twist. An inhale for length up, and exhale for a little bit deeper twist. Inhale, both hands up, and just switch. Exhale. Another inhale for length through our spine, and exhale for a twist. Inhale, both hands up. Going to take this hand to the side again, or to the ground by our side, and we're just reaching overhead for a nice side body stretch. Let's inhale right here for length, and exhale. Both hands up, and let's just trade. Exhale. Inhale, and open this body as much as you can. We're going to inhale, both hands back up. I'm going to twist a little bit. So our hands are right in front of us, and I want to really arch our back for a seated cat pose. Like you're like a nice sway back. And here we go. This is actually the cat. The other one was the cow. So cow and cat. Inhale and exhale, squeeze. Let's take these hands, put them right in front of us for a tabletop. We're going to do those same things that we were just doing, but we're going to do them in a tabletop. So our hands are right underneath our shoulders, our knees are right underneath our hips. Then we're going to arch our back and look up with an inhale and exhale. Your pelvis is tilted down, your chin is tucked, and inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So I'm going to take my knees to the edge, or a little bit wider, and I'm I'm just gonna sit my hips down on my heels. And I'm just gonna stretch out. Continue to breathe here. And see if you can stretch your fingers a little farther in front of you and tilt your hips a little bit farther down. We're going to come back up to tabletop. And we're going to tuck our toes. And we're just going to take our hips up to the sky. So we're kind of making a pyramid with our body. And then we're just going to pedal out our feet. Stretching those calf muscles. If you've got really tight hamstrings, if this feels tight, you can bend your knees a little bit. So we're just going to stay here, breathe, pedal, and then we're going to step, and we're going to halfway lift. I'm going to fix my clothes. So halfway lift, we're just placing our palms on our shin, and we're going to try to get as much space as we can between our tailbone and the top of our head. So nice flat back looks just like this. Really stretch through your back and exhale all the way down. Again, if you've got tight hamstrings, feel free to bend as deeply into this as you like to, and then as you get a little more flexible, then you can just have it straight, have straight legs. So halfway lift, and completely fold. So we're going to take this, drag our fingertips up our legs. We're going to take this right into a mountain pose. So mountain pose, I've got my feet, I've got all of the weight of my body evenly distributed in my feet. So a nice hip width stance. And I'm going to start lifting through my knees, my quads, my abs. My hands are going to go up, and instead of having hands by my shoulders, I'm going to relax my shoulders. Relax down your back and lift. If you'd like to, look to your fingers. And here's where you could take a tiny back bend. So just a tiny back bend. And here's what we call cactus arms. So you're kind of a cactus, and just barely lean back. And arms back up, and arms back to cactus. We're going to do this. Arms back up again, and then we're just going to bring our palms right beside us. So this is just called a relaxed standing pose. So we're just going to stand here for a moment and breathe. If you'd like to close your eyes down and inhale, hold it, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. And one more inhale, exhale. We're going to take our hands overhead again, mountain pose. And now we're going to bring prayer hands through the center all the way down. So I'm going to place both hands on the mat or your floor, and I'm going to step my left foot back and my right foot back. A nice plank pose. This also can be your plank pose. So we're just going to hold this for a moment. Take a look at where everything is. Are your hands right underneath your shoulders? Are your toes nice and wide? Are you doing this or this? So think about having a completely straight body. And if you're on your knees, here you would have a straight body as well. So from here, we're just going to slowly lower to the ground. So everything is on the ground now. The tops of our feet are on the ground. Our hands are right by our shoulders. We're going to put them, you can't see on the camera. I've got my fingers like this. So we're just going to engage our abs, pull our belly in, just barely lift up. And exhale. And lift up. We're going to do that one more time. Lift. And exhale, release. And now we're going to go back to downward facing dog. So this can be how you get to downward facing dog. on your knees. If you are able to, just lift and back to downward facing dog. So we're going to take little baby steps to get back to the top of our mat. Here we are. So we're going to do some other fun things that we haven't done before while we're doing yoga. So there's what's called a chair pose. It's just like what we do when we do squat. So chair pose is just take your seat back. So I'm going to a chair pose. If you want to have a chair so you can balance on it, have a chair close. So you're here, and then our hands are just in front of us. And up. You can have your toes touching, or you can have your toes about hip width apart. So just into chair, and stand. And one more time. So while we're in chair, think of tucking your bottom under. So instead of having like sway back, we're kind of tucking to have a straight body while we're in our chair position. So we're in chair. I always like to hold prayer hands. Kind of balances me. So back up, and we're just going to release it to the ground again. We're going to rise to mountain on an exhale, and we're going to bring one hand forward and one hand back. The other time we did this, we tried to keep our hips straight. Let's turn this time. So we're opening up our hips a little bit. Our shoulders are wide. Our fingertips are wide. Now we're going to look for the hand behind us. Back up and twist to the side. So I feel this nice side stretch right through here. And back up again. We're going to take it back, both hands on the mat, and we're going to go back to plank. Let's hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to drop our knees back to tabletop, and we're going to take one hand and one leg apart. So I want your fingertips reaching for one way and your heel reaching for another. And then I want you to bring them together. Let's do this 10 times. Think about really squeezing. Squeeze. Five more. 8, 9, and 10. Stretch apart and lower. So we're going to have to do both sides. Heel goes back and arm goes forward. Let's do 10 here. Five down, 5 to go. Three, 2, and last one. Stretch apart and drop it. Now I'm going to go into some cat-cows. Really stretch my spine again. And up. And one more time on each. Okay, we're going to do something we haven't done before. We're going to put our, if you're able to, just put your arm right underneath, and we're going to just do a little lift. So you can do this with your knee, you can do this side, or stack your feet. That's it. So, bent knee is an option, and we're just going to trade. And you can practice these at home, make just this part of your everyday practice. When you're doing this, make sure you're not like think about lifting your bottom closest to the ground. So if you wanted to, you could even do like some crunches right here. and really get into the oblique. You'll feel it in the oblique that is closer to the floor. Okay, how are y'all feeling? I'm feeling pretty warm, so I'm gonna cut this one off and we're gonna go right to some weightlifting. Love y'all.